The Eagles and Packers opening the season together. Aaron Rodgers, so many people expecting him to have an MVP-type season.
Yeah.
Kevin Kolb, what to expect out of this guy who's starting in place of Donovan McNabb full-time for the first time, and he looked lost for much of the game, and then Clay Matthews knocks Kolb from the game. Suffered a concussion on that play. Matthews was all over Kolb throughout the first half.
Watch him wrap both arms and clutch and just drive him into the turf.
Face in the dirt.
Next Packers possession after they wipe the sod and loosen the jaw up on Kolb. Here is Rodgers to Greg Jennings for an 8-yard gain. And Stuart Bradley comes up woozy from this as well. They're play-calling linebackers, Steve.
Boom. Yeah, this hurts now. He's going to try to come back in, but he's going to be hurt. These are two very hard-hitting defenses now. We got to keep that in mind. Made it rough on all the quarterbacks.
Well, Bradley left the game, as you can see. He was on Queer Street right there, and then he left the game with a concussion as well. And later on, after Bradley finally got up, it is Donald Driver in the end zone. 10-3 Packers, who led at half 13-3, and then Michael Vick starts the second half, and the first play from scrimmage, Vick does
what Vick does.
A 23-yard scramble here.
Yeah, nobody else in the league can run around like this at quarterback. Michael Vick's got some magic legs.
And 2 plays later, just when you thought Old Mo was wearing a green shirt, Eldra Buckley puts the ball on the turf as Charles Woodson makes another defensive play.
And that's why he just received the contract extension, because he can play the pass as well as the run.
That led to a Packers touchdown. It's 20-3 when Vick does.
What Vick do? Get him go.
31 yards down to the 2. Maybe he should step out of bounds.
That's not Michael Vick. He takes those type of games. He's built for that.
2 plays later, LaShawn McCoy up the gut, and it's a 10-point game. But the Packers get the ball back and in quality field position, because the return team for the Packers had quite the day. It's Rodgers to Jennings again, this one for a touchdown, 32 yards. It's a 17-point lead for the Packers, but here comes the Eagles with Michael Vick now slinging it to Brent Selleck.
That's a perfect throw over the top of the linebacker in between the safeties.
That was Selleck's first catch of the day. 5 plays later, Vick to Jeremy Maclin. Touchdown, 10-point game again.
That was a great route on the outside, Rich.
Next Packers possession, 3rd and 13. Rodgers is picked.
I don't know who he was.
A little bit wet. I think that ball got away from him. It slipped out of his hand. Here we go. We have a ball game.
Nate Allen with the pick. Eagles get the ball back. 3rd and 9. Vick calls McCoy up to the bridge. Here's LaShawn, 27 yards, weaving his way through the Packers defense inside the 10-yard line. 3 plays later, Vick, pressure, scrambling. I thought he was going to run this one in, Dion.
Yeah, he should have ran it.
Go.
He should have ran it in.
Instead, he tries to force it in, and the Eagles have to settle for a field goal. Packers get the ball back. 3rd and 7. Eagles out of timeouts, and they get a break because the pass can't be completed to Jennings. Packers forced to punt. Eagles with a chance. 4 minutes to go. Vick does.
What Vick do?
16 yards. Vick goes over 100 yards rushing for the 9th time in his career. 4 plays later, Vick cannot do what he does on 4th and 1. And that is the way the Packers finally hold on to win 27-20.
Packers hosting the Bills. Aaron Rodgers will have an extra burden with Ryan Grant done for the season. Buffalo's offense did not have a red zone drive in their opener, looking to change that. Trent Edwards brought down for the 2nd time in the game, and that was in the first quarter with Green Bay leading 6-0. They were unable to convert on the 3rd down and were forced to punt. Ensuing Packers possession, Aaron Rodgers looking for Jermichael Finley with the nice over-the-shoulder catch for a gain of 32 for Finley. 3 plays later, a 3rd and 10 on the 20. Aaron Rodgers, and he will scramble. He'll get loose for a gain of 12 yards going down the middle, sliding to avoid the hits. Sets up a 1st and goal at the Bills' 8-yard line. 3 plays later, Brandon Jackson, the replacement for Ryan Grant, finds his way into the end zone to give the Packers a 13-0 lead for Jackson, his first touchdown of the season. On the ensuing Bills possession, Trent Edwards looking for Lee Evans, and he will go down the sidelines, incomplete, but as you can see, there's a flag on the play. Take another look. Charles Woodson called for pass interference. A 24-yard penalty gives the Bills 1st down at the Packers 13. 2 plays later, Fred Jackson around the corner, for a touchdown, cutting the score to 13-7 in favor of the Packers. Third quarter, first Bills possession of the half. Trent Edwards looking for his man Steve Johnson. Brandon Chiller with the interception. The Bills would wind up turning the ball over to the Packers. After that pick, they were unable to take advantage of that. Following the Trent Edwards interception, Packers with the ball at the 3rd and goal on the Bills 7. Rodgers hitting Donald Driver for a touchdown. Trent Edwards upset after that pick. It was costly. Packers go up 20-7 after the Lambeau leap for Donald Driver, his second touchdown of the season. Ensuing Packers possession, Aaron Rodgers scrambling once again, and he'll find the end zone all on his own. A 9-yard score for Rodgers, giving the Packers a 27-7 lead. In the fourth quarter on the next Bills possession, Trent Edwards back to pass, a long day for him. And that pass is picked off by Morgan Burnett. Not necessarily an interception so much as it was a strip. He just takes the ball away from Roscoe Parrish on the play. I'm just stronger than you. Morgan Burnett with a big-time play for Green Bay. Packers capitalizing off the Bills' turnovers all over the place. Rodgers hits James Jones this time for a 30-yard score. Packers go up 34-7. Rodgers 255 yards, 2 TDs in the air, 1 on the ground. On the next Bills possession, a 1st and 10 from their 49. Edwards sacked by Clay Matthews for the 3rd time. His 2nd straight game with 3 sacks. Packers would go on for a 34-7 win.
Jay Cutler getting himself ready. Here the Bears wearing their 1940 retros tonight. Aaron Rodgers looking to continue his hot start as we pick it up early first quarter. No score, Packers opening possession, play action, and Rodgers early on in this game just completely picking apart Chicago's defense.
And Jermichael Finley is a great guy to throw the football to.
3 plays later, 1st and goal. They just sail their way through down the field. Rodgers to Greg Jennings over the middle for the touchdown. Rodgers 4 for 4, 62 yards in the drive, and the pack up 7-0 as we take another look.
Yeah, he looks off the defense here because he has to work Urlacher out of the middle of the field. He moves him, looks to his right, and then he bangs it right down the field. Perfect accuracy, Charles, and unbelievable velocity on that football.
Yeah, tight windows to throw into, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't mind fitting the ball in them.
Second quarter, Chicago down 10-0 after a 28-yard Devin Hester punt return. Cutler deep to Johnny Knox for the 31-yard pickup.
Nicely gets his 2nd foot down here. Perfect execution on that play.
All right, 3 plays later, 3rd and 6 from the Packers 9. Cutler and company trying to punch it into the end zone. And Cutler finding Greg Olsen for the touchdown. He lunges through. And Chicago down 10-7 at halftime.
And been outplayed in the game, but they hung around, Charles, and that's what you do.
You looked up and said, how's it 10-7? That's what it felt like.
Yep.
This is the 3rd quarter now. Packers opening drive, 3rd and 9. Rodgers scrambling, hitting Jermichael Finley for what appeared to be the touchdown, but a penalty marker on the play. And boy, this was a theme of the night.
Yeah, Mark Tauscher really on this drive is almost back-to-back plays, if not back-to-back plays, wasn't it? When Mark Tauscher got called for holding. I think it was 2 out of the last 3 plays of that drive, nullifying the touchdown.
Julius Peppers was all over the field on Monday night. 2 plays later, after the Packers can't convert on 3rd down, it's 4th and 13. Mason Crosby, a 37-yard chip shot, is blocked.
Yeah, look who gets in there to block it, too. The guy who's wreaking so much havoc, causing holding penalties, setting back the Packers. He gets through and blocks another field goal in his long and illustrious career.
This is Chicago's next possession, 2nd and 6. Cutler to Knox, 35 yards to the Packers' 33.
You keep this team around, they're going to find a way to make plays.
5 plays later, 3rd and goal. Cutler finds Earl Bennett just in front of the end zone. Bennett ruled down at the 1, but Lovie Smith would challenge, saying that Bennett got into the end zone.
He gets touched here, and it's pretty clear. This is a tough challenge. I think Lovie had to try to do it, but you can see the hand just swipe. Good call.
Just got just enough of him to make that call, to put the ball outside the goal line.
So the ruling would stand, no touchdown. Next play, Cutler throwing left. Desmond Clark dropping the wide open pass. Mike Martz can't believe it.
Yeah, Jay Cutler rushed his throw. His mechanics
He
were bad.
He turned him around too much instead of sticking on that outside shoulder.
All right, let's go to the 4th quarter. Ensuing Green Bay possession, punting from their own 5. And the obvious question here, why would you even punt to Devin Hester? Granted, it's been a long time since he's done this, over 2 years, calendar years. But Hester goes 57 yards for the touchdown, and Chicago with a 14-10 lead.
Sometimes people read statistics, Michael, and instead of trusting what you remember in your memory banks about this guy, you let your lying eyes tell you that he doesn't have it anymore. He's not the guy that we thought he was before. Guess what? He just proved you wrong.
Green Bay going back the other way. Rodgers finds James Jones for the 14-yard pass play. 7:50 left in the fourth, 14-10 Chicago. This is Rodgers on 2nd and goal, pressured, throws the ball out of the end zone, and another marker would fly. Henry Melton called here for roughing the passer, would give Green Bay a 1st and 10.
You don't want to give Green Bay too many opportunities in the red zone. They're tough enough to stop when you just have 3 downs.
Yeah, it looked like a clean play, but they're talking about helmet contact, and that's why the penalty flag went down.
This is 3rd down, goal to go. Rodgers so tough.
Yeah.
Beating you with his feet, lunges into the Packers lead 17-14.
And he was cramping.
Yeah.
You know, that whole drive, he's pulling up on his toes and trying to work the cramps out, ran it in.
Ensuing Chicago drive, they've got it 1st and 10. Cutler finding Devin Hester, trying to find it, but it's picked off by Nick Barnett. But hold on, penalty marker flies. It's Frank Zombo called for roughing the passer.
That's a tough call there.
It is. It caught him right below, and you saw how Cutler's head snapped. You know they're always going to err on the side of caution for a quarterback. Flag went down. Zombo's first NFL start, an undrafted free agent.
So guys, how do you explain this? Matt Forte picks up 15, and Nick Collins is called for unnecessary roughness. They give Chicago 15 more yards.
Yeah, undisciplined, and that's really been the theme of the night for him.
It's almost like they got frustrated, and it just kept mounting.
Bears would kick the field goal to tie the game at 17, and then this. Rodgers finds James Jones, who fumbles, and miraculously for Green Bay, the ball stays in play, and Tim Jennings recovers for Chicago.
Yeah.
What arm? Michael, help me again. What arm is he carrying the ball in?
He got it on the outside arm there, and Mike McCarthy challenged there, which proved to be a disaster.
And that is a professional throw right there. Back foot by Cutler to Greg Olsen for 21 yards to the Green Bay 35. 2 plays later, 2nd and 8. Cutler deep down the right side. Earl Bennett, the intended target. It's picked by Collins, but Morgan Burnett called for pass interference.
Yeah, you got to turn around. I mean, there's no way they're not calling that in the National Football League.
Packers fans exasperated. 3 plays later, 3rd and goal to go. Forte takes it over the right guard. No gain.
Yeah, and here's where the timeout Mike McCarthy loses because he challenged and he lost the challenge, and it cost him 50 seconds.
Robbie Gould comes in, 19-yard field goal, and Chicago taking advantage of Green Bay's miscues all night long. 20-17 the final score, as you see some of the numbers there. And again, the penalties for Green Bay, really the story.
Mike McCarthy coaching, Matthew Stafford watching. Packers' first possession. Aaron Rodgers looking for Donald Driver. 29-yard touchdown, Green Bay up 7-0.
That's a pretty thrown
and you think that's game over.
Yeah.
Right there, it's over. Have a nice day. Aaron Rodgers doing what he does. Started this game 8 for 9, 3 touchdowns.
Well, they let the Detroit Lions back in the game.
Now, John at best been pretty good this season, but that's a touchdown pass to Calvin Johnson, 23 yards.
Calvin Johnson, big day as well. 2 touchdown catches.
Game tied at 7, but here's Job at best, putting it on the ground.
Can't do that. Can't do that, especially against an offense that's as powerful as the Green Bay Packers.
And that was the 2nd turnover of the half for Detroit. 4 plays later. That ball could have been thrown to one spot. That's where it ended up.
Watch this. And could only be thrown by maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks in the league. That's beautiful.
Nice catch.
How good is the kid, Jermichael Finley?
Love him.
Leading tight end in the National Football League for receiving yards. Packers' next possession.
3 play. Aaron Rodgers drops back. Don't give Aaron Rodgers 3 because you know he's going down the field. Chances are to Donald Driver.
Penalty was declined.
Described.
Detroit still had 9 penalties in the first half.
Or you were just guessing? Just
watch the game.
Rodgers to Greg Jennings, another Green Bay touchdown.
And at this point again, 8 for 9, buck 31. But things change.
That would change. Sean Hill coming right back to Calvin Johnson. Goes up and gets it. 21-yard touchdown in Detroit, apparently not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know how you defend that any better. Charles Woodson's underneath. Charles Johnson.
Yeah, you jump up and
I mean, you got him bracketed. That's just
that's the throw that Brett Favre makes.
That's right.
Just so you know, that's the throw that Brett Favre makes.
The Favre shoulder throw?
Absolutely. No, the Favre shoulder double coverage throw.
Now, we've seen this before. Charles Woodson with the pick, and he would eventually get 6 and actually leaped the final 6 yards into the end zone.
Wow.
can't believe it's a game at this point.
No, you can't. I mean, this game was over fast.
Calvin Johnson almost able to deflect that pass.
That play was reviewed, but it counts his 10th career interception return for a touchdown.
I only had 9 as a receiver, for crying out loud.
Things looking not so good for Green Bay. Jordy Nelson puts it on the ground. That led to a Detroit field goal, and the Lions down only 28-26. Next Green Bay possession, Rodgers looking for Greg Jennings. Picked off by Alfonso Smith.
Here's the difference with this year's Detroit Lions. You can't let them hang around because they are much more competitive. A year ago, 2 years ago, you could play this way if you're Green Bay and still win by a couple of scores.
And Aaron's right to be mad. I mean, that's a play. That's a good throw. Receivers got to make sure either he gets the ball or he comes down with it, or the ball hits the ground.
That's a good throw. Hill to Brandon Pettigrew, 19-yard gain. Matthew Stafford likes what he sees.
He's got some playmakers. Pettigrew, Johnson, Scheffler, Best.
This is looking for Johnson, but broken up by Charles Woodson.
And he's not going to get that call either.
No. Lions fall 28-26. Aaron Rodgers started out really fast, kind of cooled off a bit, but his team now 3-1.
Donovan McNabb and the Redskins. Aaron Rodgers, and we know he has a terrific arm, and he put it on display.
Yes, rolling left and throwing back right. That's tough.
Hits Donald Lee there, and Lee gives it up. Kareem Moore recovers the fumble. And a couple of freak accidents on this play. Jermichael Finley, he was trying to make the tackle after the fumble recovery. Ended up getting carted off to the locker room.
When did he get hurt? Darren's going to have the MRI tomorrow. Boy, if he's hurt now, this is really going to hurt him. This is a good player.
Redskins didn't capitalize. Packers get the ball back. How about Brandon Jackson? We've been asking, where's this Packers running game? They were in the hunt for Marshawn Lynch and elected to pass. And Jackson goes 71 yards here to the Redskins 19.
That's running the daylight. Yeah.
3rd and goal. It is Rodgers to Donald Lee, who gets creamed, but he holds on to it. Packers are on top 7-0. Lee ended up, though, leaving the game with a shoulder injury, so the Packers were without their 2 best tight ends. Rodgers buys some time. He's such a good athlete.
He is. He's going again from the left side and on the run. Fantastic accuracy.
Flicks that ball out there, coach.
It's James Jones there. 2nd quarter, same drive. 4th and goal, and it's Rodgers looking in the end zone.
Right here. You got to go up for this ball, make a great effort. They'll give you the pass interference.
But that's Andrew Corliss. Remember, their tight ends, they were down 2, so they were playing their 3rd stringer. McNabb buys time. Anthony Armstrong.
Go up and make a play now. Look at Donovan McNabb moving around like a kid, throwing for 357 yards, spreading the ball around.
Oh, he killed that, Dougie.
Watch this one-on-one with the safety cover to it. That's what you want as a receiver, one-on-one with the safety. Sails him to the outside and takes him straight to the house.
And Charlie Pepper here going for the ball instead of yanking away the arm. 13-10, and now it's McNabb and company with another opportunity and for time for once, but it's tipped and still caught by Armstrong.
And luck counts in this league. Sometimes it's better be lucky than good. And
so here's Graham Gano from 51 yards away to the right. And so the Redskins get it back after a Green Bay punt. McNabb to Chris Cooley. Cooley breaking a couple tackles, 30 yards.
Cooley is one of the best tight ends in the league, and McNabb found him all day.
All right, so 1:11 left in this one, and this time Gano from 45 yards away ties it up at 13. But there was some time for the Packers here. Aaron Rodgers looking for Corliss, 21 yards, and they're in business. Now, Rodgers trying to move up the team up for a spike, but they took some time here. No timeouts. Could have had another play potentially to get a little closer, but it didn't happen. And so
that could have happened in about 7 or 8 seconds quicker.
So here comes Mason Crosby, who's got plenty of leg. 53 yards away. Doink. Wow. But it hits the crossbar. All right, so we are on our way to overtime. Packers' 2nd possession in OT. Rodgers on the move to Greg Jennings, but it's picked off by LaRon Landry.
Oh, man, that's LaRon Landry. Just stepped in front of Greg Jennings and made a great play here. What a read that is.
Yeah, the ball's thrown a little bit behind. Now he's got pressure in his face big time.
Well, Jeremy Jarman hit him helmet to helmet. It wasn't called. And so now the Redskins for the game winner on the ensuing drive. They win it 16-13. Donovan McNabb does it again. Aaron Rodgers is starting for the Packers after suffering a concussion just a week ago in that loss to the Redskins. And he looked just fine. Packers down 7-3. Look at the gun. To Greg Jennings.
He looked real fine right there.
86 yards. Packers on top 10-7. And prime Vontae Davis didn't know where he was.
Yeah, whenever you have an aggressive corner, the thing you can do with him is double move him. You got to understand, this cornerback is running the 4-3, so that means Greg Jennings is running the 4-3 also because he couldn't catch him.
Longest reception of Jennings' career. Chad Henne out of Brandon Marshall for the touchdown. But wait a minute.
Wait a minute now. How about our feet? We got to tiptoe? No, you got to have them both in.
So they had to settle for a 53-yard Dan Carpenter field goal, tied up at 10. Marshall, another great day, 127 yards through the air. 13-10, Rodgers picked off by Jason Allen, who hopefully is having a nice year.
Right there, good job.
2 weeks ago he didn't.
So here comes the Dolphins. 8-play to drive on a 4th and 1.
Versus the Jets.
And it's Ronnie Brown who keeps going, clearly gets the first down.
It's like it's easy.
But they gave him a bad spot.
But it looked as though his elbow was down. Watch.
That was his hand, not his elbow.
I don't know about that spot.
And so the Dolphins challenge, it was still upheld. Mason Crosby tied the game up at 13. All right, Dolphins now punting. There's a flag down. So the Packers called for illegal formation.
Yeah, this is crazy because you've got to practice this all week. You cannot line up somebody across from the head of the center on field goals and or punts.
So due to the Robert Francois penalty, Dolphins are alive.
Here
nice
now.
play call.
What a play. This guy, Chad Henne did a great job of holding on to the last second, taking it to Fasano.
Fasano on the Lambeau lead. Fakes him out there.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Everybody's going to run sprint right option, tight end screen weak, all right? So the quarterback's going to sprint out. Everybody's going to get going. Jake Long, the tackle's going to set inside. And all of a sudden he goes, I'm going to come out of here. And Fasano's going to squirt out of here after the blitz. Good play call against the backside blitz. And this is an easy walk-in for a touchdown. Sprint right option, tight end screen left. I like it.
All right, so the Packers back to work. It is Rodgers on the move. They roll him out. And then he heads back to his left and lays it up to Jordy Nelson.
Nobody does this better now than Aaron Rodgers, moving around right or left, thrown out of the pocket, making good decisions.
4th and 7. It's Rodgers to Greg Jennings for 20 yards and a first down.
And here we go, trying to make that drive. We talk about what separates the good from the great in this league are the quarterbacks that can do this. Move your team late in the game.
This is smart now. Look at this. Is really an audible. Aaron Rodgers says, you know what? The defense is not lined up right. I'm going to just tap my center, and away we go and walk in for the touchdown.
That was on a 4th and goal, which forced overtime, tied at 20. Packers here. After a Miami punt, it is Rodgers. What a day Cameron Wake had. 3 sacks for the big fella.
He's a beast. Definitely going to the Pro Bowl this year if it's up to me. Dan
Carpenter from 44 yards away. Dolphins, they're 3-0 on the road this year. They went after the bye, 23-20. Brett Favre back at Lambeau Field for the second time in his career as a quarterback of the Vikings. And of course, guys, what would you expect? But early on here, a nice play here as they bring Percy Harvin in the backfield, and he takes a hand up and goes 17 yards for the touchdown.
Did this a lot in college. You play receiver, a little bit of running back. They motion them inside, run the counter weak with the backside tight end. I like this play. Watch Herrera come around here to block inside the hole, and the backside Dugan tight end following through here, and it's a misdirection counter play, well designed, and it's a walk-in for Percy Harvin.
Good job, Coach.
And anytime you can get the ball in a Percy Harvin's hands as a playmaker, that's a good job. 7-all here. 3rd and 8 for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers to Andrew Quarles. And they call it a touchdown, but he really was out of bounds, but the Vikings didn't challenge.
Yeah, great job going up, getting the ball. You can see right there, he does not maintain possession, and you have to maintain possession and control all the way to the ground, but did not get challenged. They called that a touchdown.
Right, ensuing Vikings possession here. Brett Favre on the bubble screen to Percy Harvin, who lunges. Originally ruled a touchdown, but Mike McCarthy was red hot with the challenges. The play was reversed because Percy Harvin stepped out of bounds. And then the ensuing Packers possession, they're lined up in a field goal formation, but they're going to fake it. And it's Matt Flynn. He's got Corliss.
Oh, you tricked yourself. You got 15 receivers on the sideline. You're going to throw this play to a guy that's going to lose his footing. Not a good play.
All right, the ensuing Vikings possession here, tied up at 14. Favre to Shenko. Looks like a 17-yard touchdown, but once again, Mike McCarthy decides to challenge. And the ball does hit the ground, but Michael looks like he still maintained possession.
Yeah, this one threw me off too, Fran. I mean, it says as long as you demonstrate control, he never lost control. I thought it was a touchdown. And, of course, you see Coach Childress, he thought it was a touchdown, but that was overturned.
All right, so the Vikings had to settle for a field goal, 17-14 at the third. Favre steps up, picked off by A.J. Hawk. And all of a sudden, Brett Favre comes up a little gimpy.
Oh, come on, man. What are you guys saying? That has a reason to be gimpy. Did you see that ankle? You guys stop this.
Oh, no.
Brad Jones with the hit on the left ankle. So here comes Aaron Rodgers with zip to Greg Jennings. It's a 14-yard touchdown strike. Packers getting points off turnovers, up 21-17. Favre coming back. Picked off by Desmond Bishop. And Bishop's gone 32 yards the other way. Was looking for Randy Moss, Brian, but it didn't work out.
It seems like this happens to Brett Favre when he's up under duress. He just creates off the cuff and just does something crazy.
Key 3rd and 1, they go for the home run.
I like the call. Fake it in there with power run game and throw it deep to Percy Harvin.
All right, and that set up this 3rd and 2. Favre with the dart to Moss, who gets in for the touchdown. Vikings, they cut the Packers' lead 28-24.
An ankle on that jump then, Coach. You saw that?
3rd and 5 now. Aaron Rodgers trying to scramble for a first down. Close, but he comes up 1 yard short of the first. So 4th and 1, they're going to go for it. They give it to John Pope.
Oh, effort right there. Effort. That's what you love. When a tight game like this, you like to see guys give that effort.
All right, 3 plays later now. 11th play of the drive. It's Rodgers to Jennings. That looked like it was close to a first down, but they didn't get a great spot. And it's 4th and 1 again. Mike McCarthy says, keep the field goal unit on the sidelines. We're going for it, but this time, Chad Greenway is there to stop Kuhn.
A lot of meat inside on that defensive line for the Vikings.
All right, so here come the Vikings. Adrian Peterson, who was over 130 yards on the night, 17 yards there.
This is the patience Eric Bieniemy, his running back coach, was exemplifying in the offseason, trying to get him to understand patience of a running back.
Brett Favre picked off for the 3rd time, this time by Nick Collins.
Just does a wonderful job of coming over the top of the receiver to make that interception.
All right, but the Vikings get the ball back on a 3rd and 7. Favre to Toby Gerhart, 6 yards to the 42. So now what's Brad Childress going to do? Go for it. And it's Peterson. Was there any doubt?
No, but everybody in the stadium knew who was going to get the football there.
5 yards for the first down. $1:56 remaining. 28-24. Packers on top. Favre looking for Harvin. It is incomplete.
Well, I got food right there, Brett Favre did. You can tell a little bit upset. He had Randy Moss one-on-one outside, but didn't get a chance to go to him.
4th and 5. It's Favre to Randy Moss. A huge play. Keeps the drive alive. 1:19 left. Favre, he's going to be dropped by Jarius Wynn. It's a 6-yard loss, so the Vikings are forced to use their second timeout. 1:12 left. 2nd and 16. Favre in trouble. Dumps it off to AP, and Peterson picks up 26 yards to the 15, and he gets out of bounds with a $1:03 left. So after a false start here, it's Favre. Steps up to Visante Shenko at the 10, but there's a flag on the play. And there was a face mask right there, Phil Lodeholt, on Clay Matthews. Clear as day. All right. So here we go. It's 1st and 30. Plenty of time. Favre creates space. In the back of the end zone, it's Hogan who comes down with it for a touchdown.
And we're going to have to look at this again now because Mike doesn't have any challenges left. He used them already. But up in the booth, they'll challenge 1 foot in, 1 foot out, not a catch.
Cannot believe he did not toe tap right there, Coach. It's an amazing thing to get that close and not toe tap and get that touchdown.
2nd and 30, Favre dumps it off to Peterson, picks up 15 yards, 20 now. Vikings have to use their 3rd timeout. Game comes down to this, 4th and 15. Favre falls down, gets up. Are there any Favre fireworks left? Incomplete to Randy Moss. So Aaron Rodgers gets his first victory against Brett Favre and the Minnesota Vikings. And Favre walking off the field
Limping.
to a chilly reception. So the Vikings fall to 2-4 as the Packers get a huge victory, 28-24. They are now tied with the Chicago Bears atop the NFC North. Meanwhile, this Packers defense decimated with injuries, but they came out and got a huge victory.
5-3, meaning whoever wins the Monday night game between Indianapolis and Houston will lead the AFC South through 8 weeks. Steve Weatherford, the Jets, on 4th and 18 against Green Bay in the first quarter, apparently called his own fake. That's what Rex Ryan said. He has the ability to do that.
Yeah, 4th and 18. That's a long way to go.
Well, there was a challenge on this play. It was initially ruled a first down, but you could see Weatherford's foot is out of bounds.
Hurry, run a play, hurry.
He gets to the first down line, so that led to the first points of the game as Green Bay got the ball on the plus side of the field and got an easy field goal. Meanwhile, the Jets were struggling mightily on offense. Brad Smith under center and then rushes it. It's a fumble. Rex Ryan challenges, but the ball is loose prior to Smith's knee touching the ground, and this was a crucial challenge that the Jets lost. We'll explain that more in a moment. 2 possessions later, the Jets still only down 3-0 because the Jets defense was holding Green Bay's offense. And LaDainian Tomlinson becomes just the 2nd player in NFL history with 13,000 rushing yards and 4,000 receiving yards. The other is sweet. Not bad.
Fantastic.
9 plays later, 3rd and 11 from the Green Bay 43. Mark Sanchez to Jericho Cotchery. Jamon Williams now rips the ball away and is running with it. And the refs say it's an interception. Rex Ryan challenges this play, and it looks like both players go down with it, and the ball is ripped out only when Cotchery is down, but the play still is called.
Yeah, it's called, which is, we always say, hey, tie goes to the runner, and it doesn't look like that. The refs called it Packers football, and it's going to stay.
But Ryan is now out of challenges for the game, down 3-0. Still, though, the Jets defense keeping the offense in the game. Sanchez to Jericho Cotchery. Longest play of the game for the Jets, 49 yards, but Nick Folk misses the field goal. So it's still 3-0 in the 4th quarter. Mark Sanchez, 1st and 20 from the Green Bay side of the field, looking for Dustin Keller, but Charles Woodson now takes the ball away, and it's called an interception for Woodson.
Horrible call.
But this cannot be reviewed because the Jets are out of challenges.
Horrible call.
I mean, Keller is down.
He's down. He rips it from him. Should be Jets.
I mean, it's a brutal call. But Rex Ryan cannot challenge it. He's got to call defensive plays now. And that led to a field goal. Jets' 3rd turnover of the game. They had 4 all season coming in. And it's 6-0 now on 3rd and 8 with 4 minutes to go. They try for it all. To Jericho Cotchery, it's no good. And Rex Ryan decides to go for it. One out with the defense playing as well as he's been playing. 4th and 8. Sanchez. It worked on 4th down last week in Denver, but no flag here. But the Jets defense holds and gets the ball back for the Jets offense. One last chance to go down the field, score some points, score a touchdown, and win the game. But 4th and 11, Sanchez cannot find more 4th down magic.
3-man rush. Come on, you got to get rid of it.
And it's incomplete to Braylon Edwards. And
Give him a chance.
The Green Bay Packers go into the new Meadowlands and shut out the Jets. The Jets shut out at home off a bye week.
After a bye. A fresh team after a bye.
And it is more of the same for Big D.
He's good.
Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers and company trying to assert themselves in the NFC North. First quarter, remember, John Kitna playing for the injured Tony Romo. Looking for Miles Austin. Great job, Dion, by Sam Shields.
Great play by Shields. Young guy getting the body inside, going up and making a play, coming down with the ball. Great play by the young corner.
So here come the Packers. 5th play of the drive on a 3rd and 6. Aaron Rodgers. He can move now out of the pocket.
Yeah, he beats you with his arms, but right here, he can do this. He's not what we will talk about later, Michael Vick, but he can make plays.
27 yards for the first down. 2nd quarter, same drive. It's Rodgers to Brandon Jackson, and Jackson with little difficulty getting into the end zone. Packers on top, 7-0, and there was more. A whole lot more. Next Packers possession. It is Rodgers looking for James Jones. Coach 31 yards. The penalty there on Newman, but the completion counts.
Yeah, it starts with great protection in the pocket and great location with the throw.
1st and goal from the 2. Jackson moves the crowd for the touchdown. It's his 2nd touch of the game. Now the Packers extend their lead to 14-0. Cowboys challenge, but the ruling on the field was upheld. All right, here come the Packers again. Rodgers to Greg Jennings.
Jenkins been victimized all year, and they're taking advantage of him every opportunity they get.
33 yards. 2nd and goal now. Rodgers to Greg Jennings. Touchdown. Packers on top, 21-0.
These highlights brought to you by the Green Bay Packers.
And on the ensuing kickoff here, it's Brian McCann. 15 yards before Jared Bush rips it out. Nick Collins is in the end zone, and he was clearly down. But Wade Phillips and company, they had no timeouts left, so they couldn't challenge Michael.
When you're having a tough year like this stuff happens to you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it, Coach. It's just you sit in the game and keep saying, wow, I can't believe this is happening.
28-0, Green Bay on top. Kicking it out of Des Bryant.
Yep, now Des Bryant is still playing hard, even though it's a tough season for Cowboys. Great catch by Des.
Great example here, Michael, of another great catch by Des for the touchdown. Packers on top, 28-7 at the break.
And this is what you start doing if you're the Dallas Cowboys. Let's start working on getting our guys some reps. Guys like the Des Bryant.
John Kitna sacked by Charles Woodson. Luckily, Felix the Cat Jones there for the recovery. And Jerry Jones not at all pleased with what he is seeing from the sweet level. All right, the Packers now on a 2nd and 8. It's Rodgers to Jordy Nelson getting in the mix.
There's a back shoulder throw on a seam route. Not on the sidelines. This is up the seam.
There's great chemistry between the quarterback and receiver.
Rodgers now dumps it off to James Jones. And Michael Jenkins.
Michael Jenkins on that play.
I think he made a business decision.
I think everyone in Dallas tweeted me and around the country about that play by Michael Jenkins.
Meanwhile, Gerald Sensabaugh was trying to pull the ball out and get a strip for a fumble. It just kept getting worse here.
These highlights brought to you by the Green Bay Packers.
What do you call him right there?
That's called the MVP. That's what that's called.
Florida South calls him bloodline.
Clay Matthews is gone for a touchdown, and it is an embarrassing 45-7 issue that might arise during this highlight.
I need a beach towel for this issue.
Let's go. Let's just go.
For the mooch.
Of all the teams that could stick a fork in Brett Favre's last chance in the last rig, here comes Aaron Rodgers and the Packers taking on the 3-6 sinking Vikings, and Greg Jennings had a day to remember. A 47-yard gain down to the Minnesota 30 to set up Mason Crosby for the game-time field goal. Midway through the 2nd quarter, James Jones hit in stride. That's too easy. They make it look easy. Down to the 11, and the next play, Aaron Rodgers to the end zone, and boy, does Hussein Abdullah.
You cannot miss opportunities, especially against a great team. Not a great team, a good team like the Green Bay Packers.
Or a team that was definitely clicking offensively. Right. Aaron, at this point, even though the points on the scoreboard didn't show up, you could see that Rodgers was in the rhythm, and he finds Greg Jennings after buying time with a nice pirouette out of the pocket. Packers lead 10-3.
It's just hard to stay in coverage that long, and he can extend the play and make good decisions outside the box.
And coming into this game, Fogg got Sidney Rice back for the first time, and we know he's been missing him and that deep threat, the field stretching ability of Rice all year. There's a 17-yard gain there. 6 plays later, a minute 13 left in the half. Tremont Williams picks off Fogg.
Yeah, he eyeballed it all the way, and he had the drag slant, he undercut the slant play, and down the sideline he goes.
And he and Darren Bevel have a little confab. Your thoughts?
It's just good times.
You think so? Well, and that was a crucial pick because the Packers go right down the field and score to James Jones. Instead of maybe Favre tying the game or getting 3 points before the half, it's now a 2-score lead for the Packers at halftime. And then the 3rd quarter comes in to being, and that's when Greg Jennings makes another play.
Greg Jennings is ball. I mean, that's a hard tackle to make. You got to close down that cushion and be more aggressive as a cornerback, man. Challenge these guys.
So Rodgers is fired up. That's Asher Allen missing right there.
Real tight hips.
And then Ray Edwards on the D-line and Chris Cook having some words right there, and now they have to be separated.
The rookie from Virginia, he had a tough day. They went after him a little bit.
Fourth quarter now, and still enough time to shoehorn in one last Greg Jennings strike. Jennings, 152 yards, 3 touchdowns, first 4-touchdown game in the regular season for Aaron Rodgers.
Huge matchup in the NFC. Packers at the Falcons, 2 of the top young quarterbacks in the league. Matt Ryan, 18-1 at home as a starter in his career. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers have won 4 straight, getting busy with the game tied up at 3. Rodgers on the hot route hits Brett Swain, a 31-yard gain down to the 46. And a late hit adds on 15 yards. Rodgers at the goal, trying for the quarterback sneak. He loses the ball. A huge game changer. They could have gone up with a touchdown. Instead, it's a touchback, and the Falcons wind up making the big play on their defense, getting the turnover. No points scored for Green Bay as the ball comes out. And on top of that, Aaron Rodgers appeared to have hurt his wrist on the play. So the Falcons get the ball. And after the 2-minute warning, they have a 2nd and 6 at the 26. Skying up for the ball, Tony Gonzalez over the middle, a 21-yard gain down to the 5. Then on the 14th play of the drive, with 10 seconds left in the half, all alone in the end zone, how do you not get a body on Tony Gonzalez? He gets the touchdown. Falcons take a 10-3 lead into the half. On to the third. Packers down 10-3. Rodgers lofts one towards the end zone, going up for it. Jordy Nelson, a nice 28-yard catch down to the 1, and then they split them all out wide, and Aaron Rodgers goes with the quarterback draw. This time he hangs on to the ball, spikes it, and does a celebration. They tie up the game at 10. We got ourselves a ball game in Atlanta. Michael Turner letting loose, and he is tiptoeing down the sideline, upset because he thinks he could have had a touchdown after that. He still gets down to the 12 after a gain of 26. Same drive, fourth quarter now, 4th and goal from the 1. Huge play, give it to Turner around the end, and he gets in there. Falcons go up 17-10, converting on the 4th down. Michael Turner had his 6th 100-yard game of the season and 21st of his career. Packers down by 7, 17-10. And this is a 4th and 1. Rodgers making a play, shoveling the ball to James Jones for an 18-yard gain down to the 3. So the Packers are in business, but they don't go anywhere, so they have a 4th and goal. Do or die. Need a touchdown to tie it. A minute left. Rodgers, plenty of time, throws a rocket into the end zone. It is caught by Jordy Nelson. Both feet inbounds. And with the extra point, they tied up the game. A 16-play, 90-yard drive. But there's still 56 seconds left. So they kick off to Eric Weems. And he has the return. Looks like he might break it. Brought down. There is a face mask penalty as he was tackled. Add on 15 yards with the penalty. That puts the ball at the 49. Plenty of time for Matt Ryan to get them into field goal range. 47 yards out, 11 seconds left. Matt Bryant with the kick. It is good. 20-17. Falcons go on for the victory. They're 9-2. Packers are now 7-4.
Scores, and the Bears get past the Lions again, sweep the season series to improve to 9-3.
This is ugly.
Let's go to Green Bay, where they were wearing. What uniforms are these?
This is ugly.
They had blue before Vince Lombardi made them green.
It's their 29 championship uniforms, and Greg Jennings with an old school play right there. 57 yards. It was a free play on the offside, so they flipped it up, and he made a heck of a play. I mean, blue, yellow, and brown.
Yeah, don't
Brown
ever
is
wear
for
these
the
again.
leather helmets, right?
I think so.
Right.
It's 14-6 now. Troy Smith to Vernon Davis right before halftime.
Turn around.
Safety misses the tackle. He walks in.
Nick Collins being the safety, and Davis is telling everybody, throw me the football. He's basically saying,
throw me the ball. Throw me the ball.
He's an excitable guy.
Now, halftime, it's only a 1-point Packer lead. Third quarter, Rodgers throwing to another guy in a brown helmet, making old school plays. Look at Donald Driver with the yak.
He's the veteran receiver of this bunch now. He's playing like a kid.
Well, it makes Niner fans want a yak, seeing the tackling like that. 61 yards, Packers up by 8, thanks to that 61-yard pass play. And then Greg Jennings continued what he did in the first half by getting a 48-yard throw from Aaron Rodgers, who's gone as long as he's gone in his this season without throwing an interception, 177, longest in his career.
Hitting 8 different receivers on the day. This guy's so poised.
Jennings in the end zone now. 6 catches, 122 yards. Packers win 34-16. Rodgers missed on only of 9 of 30 passes and had 3 scores. So they keep pace with the Bears. More separation. Meanwhile, the Packers were in Detroit, right? So if the Bears were going to lose, this was an easy way for them to get even in the NFC North. Think about it.
Very easy.
Even if they, played earlier in the day, they knew that the Bears would have a tough game at home against the Patriots, and this was the play that potentially changed the Packers' season. As Rodgers gets his head slammed into the turf by Landon Johnson, and Rodgers suffers a concussion, he would come out for one more series. He would not return. So it's Matt Flynn in the game now.
Matt who?
Matt Flynn in the game now. Only up 3-0, and DeAndre Levy takes that easy pick in the end.
Matt Flynn. That's the one.
That's the Matt Flynn, everyone.
Okay.
So the Packers are still up 3-0. The Lions are in their third-string quarterback in Drew Stanton. But it's Will Heller on the screen here.
Great blocking.
Very well set up. They're going down like dominoes. Touchdown, Lions.
12 plays, 80 yards. Lions have lost 19 straight games in their division, and here they have a chance to knock off the Packers at home, and they do just that. As Matt Flynn cannot connect with Greg Jennings, and it is a stunner.
Guys, we get a much more exciting matchup than we thought we were going to get at the Foxborough Stadium, at Gillette Stadium. Their Packers end up giving the Patriots a fight without Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers suffering his second concussion this season. So, third-year quarterback Matt Flynn going to get the start. Matt Flynn. How about Big Jarvis Green Allison? Watch the block right there from
we
Deion
always say,
Branch.
Fran, when you have 2 names, you got to have game. And Ben Jarvis Green Allison, better known here as law firm, has all of that.
Patriots on top 7-3, second quarter. It's Matt Flynn. Settled down nicely.
This looks like Aaron Rodgers. That's Matt Flynn to James Jones for the 66-yard touchdown.
Put the Packers on top 10-7. And Aaron Rodgers likes what he sees. A couple of Packer possessions later. This is the 13th play, Michael, of their drive on a 3rd and 10 to John Kuhn.
Yeah, and Kuhn, man, he had a great day today, man. Did a lot of things with the ball, and they love when he gets that football.
And then Flynn right there to Greg Jennings for the 1-yard touchdown. And on the ensuing kickoff, it's Dan Connolly on the assured kick.
Big man with ball. Big man with ball. His kids are screaming. His family members are screaming. His whole neighborhood is screaming. Go big man with ball.
That's great right there, man. Big fella got something.
71 yards for Connolly. Look at the way he's holding the football.
How about a little pizza? Don't go on about a bunch of cookies. Take this
Longest return in NFL history by an offensive lineman. 3rd and goal here. It is Brady with all kinds of time.
Just sitting back in there, packing a lunch.
Aaron Hernandez for the 2-yard touchdown, 17-14, and that was a halftime score. Opening possession here in the third quarter, Matt Flynn picked off by Kyle Arrington. Is anyone going to wrap up and bring him down?
No, they're not taught to tackle it. But it seemed as though, Michael, the receivers stopped the route.
Bunch that time, you're exactly right. The receiver stopped the route, and that was a wrong thing to do.
36 yards for the pick six, and then it's Brandon Jackson with the 1-yard run there, but the penalty on the play. Vince Wilfork called for face masks.
It's okay. He's been balling all
drive
day.
Alive. 13th play of the drive. Flynn dumps it out to Kuhn again. Who was everywhere.
You know how hard it is to go 13 plays without making a mistake against New England? That's well done by Green Bay.
24-21. Pack on top. Tom Brady dropped by B.J. Raji.
Eating them up all day.
Fourth quarter now. Patriots down 27-24. Tom Brady under pressure to Deion Branch. 16 yards. Hustles him up to the line. And now it's Brady to Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, little option route. One-on-one. He took the out path. Easy touchdown.
And beat a corner at that, Coach.
Patriots up 31-27. Tom Brady, his pass is deflected by A.J. Hawk. It falls incomplete. So Patriots forced a punt, and the Packers have a shot here. Flynn, though, looking for Greg Jennings. He is picked off by Brandon Merriweather. But there's a penalty on the play. Tully Van Kane called for hands to the face against Brian Bulaga.
Right there.
Wasn't that a both?
The Chuck right there got
it. Looked like they were both going after each other. Keeps the drive alive. Flynn to Donald Driver. for 6 yards and a first down.
Young Flynn in this situation with Tom Brady on the other side handled himself well.
11th play of the drive to Donald Driver on a 3rd and 11. Now, they don't have any more timeouts, so they got to hustle up to the line on 4th and 1. There's a little bit of confusion, but here we go. It's going to be the final play of the game. And Flynn
shoot it
is
to the end zone
and dropped by Bantakane. Vince Wilfork recovers the fumble, and the Patriots, they win their 6th straight. They are now 12-2. They win it 31-27. Lots of stuff happened today. The Steelers clinched a playoff spot, even though the Jets beat them. The Ravens were able to beat the Saints, so they're right there in the thick of it. The Chiefs had a big victory. The Colts beat the Jags, so now the Colts control their own destiny in the AFC South. And the Packers playing solid football at home with a playoff implications on the line. Let's take it to Lambeau. Tom Coughlin and the Giants, if they win, they clinch a playoff berth. But Aaron Rodgers back, Prime.
Aaron Rodgers, when he comes back, everything seems as though it falls into place. He's in this rhythm, has full grasp of this offense, knows all the receivers' tendencies. He's a complete quarterback.
Jordy Nelson gone 80 yards, his longest reception of his career, put the Packers on top 7-0. Ensuing Giants possession here, and it's Eli Manning looking at Hakeem Nicks, but it is picked off by Tramon Williams, and this was a theme coach for Eli Manning for much of the day.
Yeah, not just much of the day, now much of the season. Now they lead the league in turnovers, and again, here we go.
So the Packers come right back and buy some time. And it's James Jones for a touchdown.
And the vision keeps his head up throughout the entirety of the play, and he makes something happen.
Looked like the Green Bay route was on early, but the Giants have settled down. In the second quarter, it's Eli to Hakeem Nicks. Biggest hands in football. 36 yards for the touchdown.
He's got good speed and size, and Eli out of the pocket makes a nice play.
Charles is really aggressive with it. Got over aggressive, slipped on the play, and when you slip, they dip. You trip is 6.
It's down now 14-7. Packers coming back. It's Rodgers to Nelson. Fights for the first down, but Antrell Roll with the strip, and Justin Tuck there for the recovery. So the Giants trying to get right back in it. Manning puts it up top for Mario Manningham, but Tramon Williams can't make the play, and Manningham gone.
Tramon gets turned all the way around. He can't find the ball. But another touchdown, a big play. Get back in the game now, 14-all.
85 yards on that touchdown strike. The Giants' longest offensive play this season. Rodgers to Donald Driver. And a big fight coming up after he was dumped into the ground. Terrell Thomas.
Very uncharacteristic of Donald Driver, but he's not taking any junk out there in a game of this magnitude.
Led to a John Kuhn touchdown. Packers on top 21-14. Direct snap to Ahmad Bradshaw. Prime, he's had problems holding on to the football.
That's why Brandon Jacobs resumed the starting position towards the end of the season.
That was his 6th lost fumble of the season. And Rodgers makes a pay to Donald Driver. 33 yards. And on the very next play, it's Aaron Rodgers who has a gun and can let it fly. 37 yards to Greg Jennings, who lays out to the 1-yard line.
That's his deep threat now. He's gotten deep many times this season, and another perfect throw by Aaron Rodgers.
2nd and goal now off the play action. So well with his feet. And he finds Donald Lee for the touchdown. Packers down, up by 2 touchdowns, 31-17. And the Giants with Brandon Jacobs. 21 yards here on first down, but he loses the football after Clay Matthews comes up with the huge strip. There's a scramble, and Nick Collins is able to recover. Now, Tom Coughlin challenged saying the ball went out of bounds, but guys, it stayed in bounds.
It sure did. That's great hustle by all of the Packers. Keeping that thing on the field and recovering, that's good hustle and pursuit.
Giants, because of the challenge, and they were out of challenges, so the Packers now first down on their own 27. They ended up going 3 and out. Once they get you now to the 4th quarter on a huge 3rd and 15. It's Rodgers to James Jones. Good ice the game right there.
A few mistakes the receivers made all day, but Aaron Rodgers, he's tough, he's tenacious, he's going to get right back at it.
Eli Manning looking for Derek Hagan, but once again he is picked off What happened here, Coach?
He'd like to have that one back. The corner sank underneath this. There's no way this should have been thrown whatsoever.
But the Giants are out of challenges here. You just see Shields was out of bounds, so the play is going to stand as a pick. I don't know how that's going to go over in New York. All right, to the ensuing Packers possession. And it's Rodgers on the play action. Give him time, and he will eat you alive. To Greg Jennings for 24 yards.
I like the use of play action. It's maximum protection when you go play action. Gave him all kinds of time.
Another play action pass. Dumps it off to Kuhn. Kuhn gets in for his second touchdown of the day. Packers open it up. A 21-point lead, 38-17, and Manning lets it fly to Manningham, but Nick Collins is there. 4 interceptions for Eli Manning. Packers go on to win it 45-17.
At the same time, in Lambeau Field, the Giants needed Aaron Rodgers to cough one up at home against Jay Cutler and the Bears, who played most of their starters, even though they came into the game knowing they were locked into the 2 seed because of other developments in the NFC South. And Cutler gets sacked by Eric Walden in the second quarter of a scoreless game. That led to a Robbie Gould field goal, 3-0 Bears. What could Aaron Rodgers and this offense do? Very little in the first half. This ball goes right off Greg Jennings' head.
And you normally don't see that, but I guarantee you this guy will make up for that.
Still 3-0 Lovey's team in the third quarter, going for it on 4th 2 on the plus side of the field, and it's incomplete. Ball slips out of Rasheed Davis's hands. Packers ball. Next play, Rodgers to Greg Jennings.
Does a good job buying some time.
Rodgers is picked, though, by Charles Tillman. Mike McCarthy challenges, but the ruling on the field was a pick, and you really couldn't tell, based on what you saw on the replay, to overturn anything.
Try to make that touch.
As Tillman takes it down to the Green Bay 15. Take a look on the replay.
You can't tell if his fingers are underneath this ball or if the ground causes this ball to bounce. They did not overturn it. Inconclusive.
Pick. Play stood as called, but the Bears now facing 3rd and long on the ensuing possession, and Charlie Peppra picks off Jay Cutler. Say that 10 times fast.
Coach, that's a play. You cannot force that. You got to relax, throw it away, live to see another down.
That's a big Peppra pick for the Packers, who now get the ball down 3-0. And Greg Jennings with a big play down to the Chicago 1-yard line. And then 3 plays later on 3rd and goal, Aaron Rodgers trying to buy some time, and Tommy Harris with the big sack for Chicago.
This is a coverage sack. Nowhere to go with the football. 3-man rush gets there.
And Mason Crosby comes on for the drive-settling field goal to tie the game. Late 3rd quarter, Chester Taylor over the middle, dump past 16 yards. But
wait a minute.
Lovie Smith calls timeout.
Oh, he did. He sure did. What was he thinking? I wanted to see him. They're lining up. Maybe change the call.
So this doesn't happen on 3rd and long. The play is down as replayed, and then on 3rd and long,
you know what's going to happen.
That's a Cutler sack.
You know what's going to
Minus 11 instead of plus 16 in a first down. That's a crucial sequence, because the Packers on the ensuing possession begin to hit their stride. Rodgers to Donald Driver over the middle, 21-yard gain to the plus side of the
best
field.
Receiving core in the game.
Next play, Rodgers play fake and all sorts of time going down the right side for Jennings.
That's beautiful. Now he's looking to the left all the way after the play action fake, and he shoots it to Greg Jennings down the right sideline. Big play.
Next play from the 1, another play fake. Donald Lee wide open.
Easy
Packers
touchdown.
have the 7-point lead at home in a must-win game for Green Bay. 2 possessions later, what would Cutler do? He saw a lot of Charles Woodson blitzing.
It was blitz after blitz after blitz, and Charles Woodson was getting home and using up running backs. And what a game plan.
That means you don't respect the receivers of the Bears, then you respect your corners.
3rd and long, it was Clay Matthews pinning his ear backs, got Cutler down before that ball could come out. So 6th sack of Cutler on the day, forced a change of possession, but the Packers couldn't do anything. Cutler gets the ball back, 3rd down, 3rd and 4. Picks up the first down with his feet, 7 yards, move the chain. 6 plays later, 3rd and 10, 51 ticks to go. Aaron Rodgers wants to hear it from the crowd. 1 timeout left for the Bears. Cutler.
Who's that?
That's my baby. 16-yard gain out of the Packers 32, but time is running out. 20 ticks to go from the Packers 32. Cutler looking for Hester is picked.
Oh, not my baby.
And
go down.
Packers get
Return it.
Collins pick to seal the deal and gain the 6th seed and a place in the National Football Conference playoffs. The Bears tried as hard as they could, but they played all their starters, could not knock the Packers out, and instead the Packers knocked the Giants out, meaning a third straight year. The Green Bay Packers and the Eagles wrapping up Wildcard weekend here in the first weekend of 2011 for the playoffs. Andy Reid showing everybody he won with Green Bay. Let's what you want, one of your own.
You don't wear a ring and say I won.
Well, Dom Capers rang up. Comes Michael Vick on the first play from scrimmage. Desmond Bishop unblocked, hits Vick on the blind side, 3-and-out for the Eagles. Later on in the first quarter, LaShawn McCoy, a 6-yard gain. Meanwhile, their best playmaker on the edge comes up gimpy as McCoy runs up the back of Deshaun Jackson.
Block somebody.
Adding insult to the injury, there was a flag on the play that didn't even count.
Yeah, that's when you stock block and sometimes they run up on you, huh, Mike?
So no, that's when you're not blocking.
Jackson is out, and James Starks is the one making plays early on for the Green Bay Packers. The rookie running back was a factor. 27 of his first half, 51 rushing yards on that play. And then Tom Crabtree, everybody, the rookie. Geez, undrafted out of Miami of Ohio. His first career touchdown catch puts the Packers on the board first in this Wild Card Sunday game. Michael Vick snowed under by the bloodline in the second quarter. Eagles have only 57 total yards at this point in the game. Next Packers possession, Rodgers is out the game.
Nice mobility, getting the first down. Two of the best running quarterbacks in the league were featured today.
8-yard gain on 3rd and 5. 12th play of the drive. Rodgers rolled into his right. More than enough time for James Jones to break free.
Stays alive in the pocket, now throws it down to the pylon, and he beats Asante Samuel for the touchdown.
14-0 Green Bay. Next Eagles possession, they get Jackson back from the locker room. Trying to warm up here. Vick hits his other big play wide receiver, Jeremy Maclin. This is the first big play of the game, essentially, for the Eagles.
Yeah, they were not giving up any big plays. Played very deep. Vick found Maclin in the intermediate area, and he made a little happen with his man.
44 yards to the Packers. 32 plays later, 3rd and 10 from that 30. Vick takes it himself. First down and a little bit more into the red zone to the Packers 16. 3 plays later, 3rd and 7 from the Packers 13. Vick buying time, flips it out to Avant, and Jason Avant cannot make a first down. And David Akers, who'd already missed a field goal in this game, puts the first points on the board for the Eagles. Enough time for Aaron Rodgers to take a shot down the field before halftime.
You cannot do that, son. Not in the playoffs when everyone's home watching you. That ball's in your basket. Take it to the house, baby.
James Jones cannot corral it, and Aaron Rodgers almost had a 21-3 lead at the half. Instead, it's 14-3 at the half, after which the Packers get the ball first. 3rd and 2 deep in their own end. Rodgers trying to do something himself. Instead, the ball is loose. The Eagles setting up shop in quality field position as Darryl taps it away, and Jaquay Parker recovers for the Eagles right on the Packers 24.
Sometimes you got to learn just to tuck it and take the sack.
Next Eagles play. 2 plays later, here's Avant over the middle.
Beautiful throw, up and down throw over the nickel back between the two safeties. Michael Vick can slice up a 2-deep zone.
4-point game. Rodgers gets the ball back. How does he respond? By coolly finding Donald Driver over the middle plus side of the field.
3rd and 10. I didn't understand why the Philadelphia Eagles did not blitz and gave that man too much time to complete that
Next
pass.
play, here's James Starks again. 19 yards down to the Eagles. 35 plays later, 2nd and goal as they're moved back onto the 16. No big deal as Brandon Jackson waits for the posse to come before him, and he walks in untouched on the screen pass. 21-10 Packers. No holds called on James. James Jones couldn't hold on to the pass before the half, but he sure looks like
that tackle. That quarterback has to keep trying to run through that to the tackle. Then it'll get seen as a whole.
The running back was 230.
Eagles are down 11. Vick makes a play on 3rd and 14. It was at that point in the drive at one point 1st and 25, and they convert it. Later on in the 4th quarter, 3rd and short. Can't convert that. LaShawn McCoy stopped by Clay Matthews, and Andy Reid says, all right, we're down 2 scores. Let's bring on the Pro Bowl kicker. Why not? Akers missed once. You can't miss twice.
No, not twice.
No.
He did.
No, he did. No, he did.
Wide right. So instead of being 21-16, it's still 21-10. 13 minutes to go, potentially, in the Eagles season. Packers get the ball back on 3rd and 3. Rodgers flips it out to Donald Driver. A huge moving of the chains. First down.
Nice blitz read.
3 plays later, 3rd and short. John Kuhn stopped by Moisey Foku. So that's Foku on Kuhn violence right there. That's good. Packers forced to punt. Next Eagles possession. Vic to about 6-yard gain on 3rd and 5. Move the chains.
Your feet, you can go for a while if you catch that run.
2 plays later on the Packers 34. Vic finds LaShawn McCoy, checking it down, and McCoy makes a play, takes it into the red zone to the Packers 18.
Great job scrambling around, and Michael knew where his check down was.
2 plays later, looks for Brent Selleck, no relation to Bud Selleck of Major League Baseball, inside the 5-yard line, the Packers 3. 3 plays later, 3rd and goal. Vic calls his own number at 7, but he can't come up with 6. He's short of the goal line. What does Andy Reid do? He's got a big ring on his finger, and he makes a timeout signal with his hands.
Do what you do, Mike Vick.
And he does on 4th and goal. Decides to go for it. If he's stuffed there, the game's possibly over. Instead, it's a touchdown. What do you do, Steve?
The chart says go for 2, Rich.
And they go for 2. Andy Reid's got the chart, but what he doesn't have is a 2-point play that works. Even though Selleck does catch the ball, we've got a hat. We got 2 flags. He steps out of bounds, does reestablish his feet, though. The reason why that's important is if he didn't do that, it would have been an incomplete attempt. No 2 points. Instead, it is a penalty. Move it 5 yards back. Now try it from the 7. What do you do, Steve?
The chart says go for 2 again.
And they do.
Oh,
They can't even get the ball out.
Great rush. Great blitz.
Rush up the left side to make sure Michael Vick never get established.
And what he does is turn his ankle. Comes up gimpy. Rodgers comes back on the field.
No!
Rodgers comes back on the field and hands it to James Starks.
Look at this guy go, the rookie from Buffalo.
He don't know any better, Mooch.
123 rushing yards, most by a Green Bay rookie back in postseason history for the Green Bay Packers. However, that's all they would get as the big sack is made on Aaron Rodgers by the Philadelphia defense, and Keenan Clayton forces him to punt. And guess who?
No, they won't punt to him, will they?
They should have punted it to Delaware. It's Deshaun Jackson.
Stay in your lanes. Stay in your lanes. Who has contained? Who has
You trying to get the edge? They finally get him down, and there's a flag, too.
A flag.
So even if he did run it back, it would have been called back. Gerard Lawson called for holding. That's where the Eagles start their drive, needing 66 yards to advance to Chicago in the divisional round next week. Here's Deshaun Jackson. Can he break free? Almost did.
Almost did.
Going to the house.
Deshaun Jackson with a 28-yard gain. Next play, Vic from the Packers 38 over the middle of Brent Selleck. Overthrows him. Nick Collins unloads. He does not hit him in the head or neck. He does not launch. He hits him right in the gut. There is no penalty.
That's a good hit. That'll be on the film next year. This is how you hit a defenseless receiver in the gut.
3 plays later, 42 ticks left. Vic for the end zone is picked. Tremont Williams ends the final gasp for the Philadelphia Eagles and sends the Green Bay Packers to Atlanta next week. It is the very first career playoff win for Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Guys, what a masterful performance by Aaron Rodgers at the Georgia Dome. It was unbelievable. Let's take you there as the Falcons and Packers met in the divisional round.
He looks ready.
Matt Ryan, 20-2 at home for his career.
Is ready.
Aaron Rodgers, right off the bat to Greg Jennings. And this coaches how explosive they are. But Steven Nicholas makes a great play on the ball.
Yeah, he might go the distance there and make that play right there. But they hit it down the middle. The run after the catch is spectacular by these Packers receivers.
Frank Grimes comes up with it and takes it all the way back to the Packers 48. And there you see Nicholas knocks it out.
Straight hustle play.
But that was one of just a handful of mistakes made by the Packers on the night. Matt Ryan to Michael Jenkins. 22 yards down to the 22-yard line. And 3 plays later on a 3rd and 13, it is Ryan to Roddy White. Deion, this is what we saw all season long with this football team.
The consistency of Matt Ryan to Roddy White. One of the best hookups, one of the best connections in our game today.
4th and inches early on. Mike Smith says, give it to the fullback. Obi Mahaley picks up the first down. Smith trying to get his first career playoff victory. And now it's Michael the Burner Turner Turner at $1.10 against the Packers when these two teams met during the regular season. Gets in for the quick 7-0 lead. And this is what the Falcons wanted to do, Coach. Come right out, establish ball control, and get in the end zone.
Yeah, run the ball, power running game, throw the ball effectively, and start fast.
Packers get the ball back on a 3rd and 6. It is Ryan who hits Greg Jennings, who holds on this time. 18 yards to the 23. Second quarter, same drive. 3rd and 3 now, and it's Rodgers who dumps it off to Jordy Nelson for an 8-yard gain. So many weapons.
That was too easy. This guy always finds a hole.
It's Rodgers to Nelson again, who knocks down the pylon. So the game is tied up at 7. Great job by Nelson to extend. And when the ball hits the pylon, that is 6. So we're tied up at 7. Ensuing kickoff for the Falcons. And Dion, it's Eric Williams.
We only show you this for one or two reasons. It's either a big play or a boo-boo. This guy, not only is a Pro Bowler, he leads his special teams in tackles, but he's a big play waiting to happen. I'm a little upset he didn't do the dance and all of that, but I give him some love.
You got a little Michael Jackson.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
And Mason Crosby ended up tripping up a couple of his teammates to clear the way for Weems. And Prime, you mentioned it, he's on his way to the Pro Bowl. Aaron Rodgers, great feet in the pocket.
Great awareness in the pocket. I said last week this guy was one of the best running quarterbacks besides Michael Vick. And people thought I was crazy, but I think they can believe me now.
James Jones, 34 yards there on a 3rd and 3, though. Jonathan Babineau gets to Rodgers, but there's a penalty on the play. Christopher Owens called for illegal contact on Donald Lee.
Oh, that's a little bit picky, huh?
Yeah, a little picky. Especially, you know, I'm with the corners on this.
John Kuhn handles his business from there, from 1 yard away. Packers tie this game up 14-14. They haven't trailed by more than 7 points all season long. Matt Ryan looking for Michael Jenkins, who slips on the NFL logo, and Tramon Williams is there for the pick.
We could say he slipped, but he had Tramon Williams beat. He had to put that ball on him, get it out of his hands a little sooner.
Packers come right back. Game still tied up at 14. It is Rodgers to Greg Jennings. Great move by Jennings. 20 yards to the 48. A 3rd and 2 now. Another long drive for the Packers. Rodgers steps up, kicks out to his right, and then flicks his wrist, Coach.
Well, Prime talks about him being a great runner, but he can extend a play and move in the pocket and keep his eyes down the field better than almost any quarterback in the league. The only guy I compare him to is Drew Brees in that respect.
That's right.
Ninth play of the drive to James Jones, who just reaches up and takes it away from Grimes. Packers on top, 21-14. He's got about 6 inches on Grimes here.
But that ball was nicely placed. Great location.
Here come the Falcons now, 10 seconds left. This is a play that they run a lot. They sprint Matt Ryan out to the left side, but Tramon Williams is there, and he takes it 70 yards the other way for the touchdown.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he was even prepared at the onset of this play, but he's a Pro Bowl caliber corner. 7 picks on the season. I don't know how in the world he didn't get to Hawaii, but he's showing all his doubters and naysayers that he should have earned a trip.
Opening possession of the 3rd quarter. Look at Aaron Rodgers get away from pressure, and he throws across his body to his left.
Yeah, I mean, great mobility. There's different kinds of mobility now. There's Mike Vick mobility, and then there's that mobility that allows you to extend a play.
Packer wide receivers running free in the Falcons secondary. Jordy Nelson, 14 yards there, and this time Rodgers is going to keep it himself.
Look at this.
7 yards, scrambles for the touchdown. Green Bay, 28 unanswered points, up 35-14.
He's wearing the belt, baby. That's what he's saying.
The opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Rodgers,
look at this.
Company, they get it back. Gets away from Abraham to find Nelson.
Young quarterbacks do not try this at home. This is a professional doing this.
3 plays later, and Matt Ryan forced to watch on the sidelines. It is Rodgers. Another dart to Donald Driver. 22 yards down the 11-yard line. You think Aaron Rodgers isn't having fun. 8th play of the drive on a 2nd and 6. It is Rodgers to John Kuhn, and Kuhn gets in for his 2nd touchdown of the night. Packers go on top 42-14. They score 35 unanswered points. And the final, they win it by 27. They win 48-21.
Let's shall in Chicago, meeting 182 of all time between the Packers and Bears. First time ever.
Yeah.
It is for the NFC Championship. How hot was Aaron Rodgers entering this game? As hot as he was in Atlanta, as hot as he was at the end of the game in Philadelphia. Finds Greg Jennings there on the opening possession. First play from scrimmage. Next play finds Greg Jennings again. 2 plays just like that.
Yeah. Play action passes, get the safety up there and shoot it in there to Jennings.
2 plays off in cover 2. They had to get out of that cover 2.
2 plays of 20 yards or more to the plus side of the field, and then another 20-yard gain, 22 to be exact, to Jordy Nelson, down to the Bears 2. And 2 plays later, Peter, I'll take B.J. Raji for the block.
Is that the fridge? Oh, no, that's B.J. Raji.
The freezer. Yeah, the freezer.
The freezer.
That was just a fugazi, because it was a bootleg to Aaron Rodgers. 7 plays, 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Aaron Rodgers runs it in, and the Packers take the quick 7-0 lead. But that's still your score. 3 Packers possessions later in the second quarter. Dumps it over the middle on 2nd and 13. Brandon Jackson running a daylight right around Brian Urlacher right there. Next play, move. James Starks had a nice game as well. The rookie out of Buffalo with a first down gain to the Bears 19. 2 plays later, first down. It's the first career touchdown for James Starks, and it comes in the NFC Championship.
Look like a rookie to me.
14-0 Packers.
What a find from Buffalo this young man is.
He has totally balanced out the offense, and what he has done right here is give the Packers a 2-score lead inside the field. Suck the energy out of the building. How would Jay Cutler respond? He throws it, and he finds a wide-open Johnny Knox. 24-yard gain right into Packers territory.
Knox on that corner route.
3 plays later, Cutler to your Devin Hester.
Oh, missed that throw right there. You got to throw the ball towards the cone and a little more flat on the line.
Bears forced to punt. Packers next possession. Rodgers is out the gate.
This is what he does better than anybody.
That he could throw on the run. He could run the football. Pinpoint accuracy. The guy's just like that.
25-yard gain, 3 plays later, 3rd and short. Looks like 2-down territory, but when Starks is stopped short, with the way that the Packers were playing defense, why not kick it? And that's what Mike McCarthy does, punts it back to the Bears. Ensuing possession for the Bears, Matt Forte recovers the fumble as Cutler is swarmed under by the Packers defense, but because there's less than 2 minutes to go in the half, the only person who could recover it in advance is Cutler. They blow the play dead. Packers get the ball back. A rare pick as Rodgers' pass for Driver goes off of Driver's feet and right to Lance Briggs.
Horrible pass and horrible effort.
The ball a little bit behind him, and it would have been a tough catch for Driver.
But just when you thought there could be some wind at Jay Cutler's back, he gives it right back to the Packers. Sam Shields, nice pick.
What a grab.
He from the U, Mike?
He is.
But that's you got to put that ball outside where only the receiver or the sideline has a chance to get it.
Packers lead 14-0. 3rd quarter, you saw Cutler. He left the field with 30 ticks to go in the first half to go in the locker room, and it gave us some indication, especially when he started riding the stationary bike on the sideline, that there could be something wrong with his left knee. The trainers take a look at it. Cutler comes out to start the second half on 3rd and 4, thrown off of his back foot. It's incomplete. And you know what? Cutler would walk off the field, limping off the field. He would not return. Aaron Rodgers for the Packers, meanwhile, flips it out to James Jones. That's incomplete because
it was holding
Tim Jennings grabbed him.
He did.
3 plays later, 3rd and goal. Brian Urlacher with a big pick for the Bears just when you thought it was all over and Rodgers was winging it all over the lot. Here comes Urlacher with a big play by Rodgers to stop Urlacher from scoring because he had all sorts of wide open green grass in front of him, or whatever color the grass was. But Cutler doesn't come out. It's the backup Todd Collins who comes out, and he looked rusty as the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
That's a good one, Rich.
That's a good one. He was 0 for 4. 0 for 4, Todd Collins was, and nothing offensively was going to happen with him there and Cutler standing there. And 3rd and 15 on the next set of downs. This was the end of the day for Todd Collins.
They call it a wrap.
Yeah, it wasn't an interception. The ball did hit the ground here.
But, you know,
but it was close enough that Coach said, enough's enough.
You get the gist. And so, with 30 ticks left in the third quarter, Caleb Haney came into the game. And he's the third emergency quarterback, which means every other quarterback that's going to play in the game cannot return. So the game, they start giving it off to Matt Forte, who makes an 11-yard play.
Good idea.
And 2 plays later, holy Clint Longley, Batman. Where did this throw come from? Caleb Haney to Johnny Knox, everybody, on 2nd and long.
Great call, Rich. Clint Longley, exactly, man. He came in and threw this football and drove his team for touchdown.
Down to the 1, Chester Taylor, one of the big offseason acquisitions for the Bears, pops it in the end zone, and it's a 1-touchdown game. Caleb Haley's fired up from Colorado State. Next Packers possession, 2nd and 10. Rodgers is hit as he throws deep, incomplete, back in the pocket. Julius Peppers added a little salt and pepper. That is a helmet-to-helmet ball.
That'll be one of those fines.
That's a lot of man falling on you right there.
And there's a man right there, spitting blood, staying in the game. Rodgers throwing incomplete to Donald Driver, but here comes more laundry. Tim Jennings called for pass interference. Packers setting up shop right on the dust of right on the midfield. 3 plays later, Andrew Corliss on 3rd and 2 had the ball go right through his mitts.
Yeah, surprise right there, man. That would have been a tough catch, but you have to make that play right there. Jermichael Finley would have.
Packers punt, get the ball back, so they get in good field position right again, lickety-split. 3rd and 1, though. Israel Adonijah forces the quick throw, and the Packers go 3 and out. And you know, this Bears defense, after giving up that first drive,
they
touchdown,
settled down.
They sure settled down, except B.J. Raji. B.J. That's how he ran the 40 at the combine.
He held it out. Look at the big fella.
That's how he ran the 40 at the combine. Look at the wheels. Look at the hands. Almost pulled a Leon Lett, though. Look out. Don Beebe almost came in the form of Caleb Haney.
Oh, the belt.
He's got the championship belt. The pick 6, it seemed to break the glass slipper of this Cinderella story, but back comes Caleb Haney, everybody.
Give him credit, Rich. I mean, he stood up and he fought for this football team with probably no time to practice this week.
13-yard gain for Caleb Haney. Down 2 scores, flips it over the middle. Holding on is Earl Bennett, 7 yards gain. 2 plays later, Haney flips it up to Earl Bennett. Ball comes down to Earl Bennett. Suddenly, Earl Bennett's running in the end zone.
Nick Collins, that fake angle from the safeties. Dion, you cannot.
And the corner assumed the other would make the tackle, and neither one did.
A 1-score game again. 3rd and long for Aaron Rodgers. Would the Bears get him off the field? They sure would. So now the Bears get the ball back with 3 and change to go at home with a chance with Caleb Haney of all quarterbacks.
Caleb who?
To come back on Mike McCarthy. 3rd and 9, Caleb Haney making plays. Move the sticks to Greg Olsen. 3 plays later, Haney on 3rd and 10. Caleb Haney to Matt Forte. Just short of the first down. Bears have to go for it. After the 2-minute wind-up, next play, give it to Chester Taylor. Move the chains.
Way to run, Chester. They got to find a way to implement this guy more in the game plan next year.
Next play, Caleb Haney. He dumps it off to Matt Forte. Hey, now it's a 13-yard game. Minute 27 left. He steps out of bounds. 3 plays later, 3rd and 3. They're end-arounding.
If you're going to end around, wouldn't you use Devin Hester?
Oh, boy. And there was also,
he had the hot hand.
There was also a timeout shortly before that, too. And then on 4th and 4, Caleb Haney.
We knew the glass slipper was going to fall off sooner, man.
Sam Shields with his 2nd pick of the game, almost darn near put the ball on the turf. That finally wrapped it up as the Chicago Bears' valiant Caleb Haney, 3rd-string effort to come back and tie this game up in the NFC Championship game falls just short. And the Bears, despite a super season and a 2-seed, watch the Green Bay Packers come into Soldier Field and take home the Hallis Trophy. That will leave a mark. 21-14 is the final score. The Packers are going to the Super Bowl. I am Rich Eisen, giving you highlights of Super Bowl 45. The Pittsburgh Steelers trying to win one for the city of Pittsburgh for a 7th time. Look who's doing the coin toss.
Boy, that man is left-handed.
Deion Sanders getting the coin toss. The Steelers lost the toss. Eventually, the Packers get the ball. Jordy Nelson almost had a touchdown catch to start things off well for the Green Bay Packers, but it went right through his hands. The Steelers getting the ball back. The ensuing play, Heath Miller can't corral it. Steelers forced to punt as the defenses ruled the day early on in Super Bowl 45. Next Packers possession, 6th play of Aaron Rodgers escapes, dumps it off to Brandon Jackson, who pushes it inside the 40-yard line.
Showing his mobility and making a play.
3 plays later, Rodgers looking deep for Jordy Nelson. This time it works. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Great job by Jordy Nelson getting back in front of the defensive back and shielding him from the football.
9 plays, 80 yards. Packers strike first at 7-0. Big Ben, next possession. He is picked by Nick Collins. Roethlisberger hit as he threw. And now the Packers are up 14-0 with 2 snaps of the football.
This was a double move now. Ill-advised throw by Ben. Safety Nick Collins, who made 3 Pro Bowls, intercepts it and goes yard.
Howard Green was the one who ran right through and hit Roethlisberger as he threw.
And I believe Pittsburgh lost Flozell Adams on this play as well. Right tackle.
Adding injury to the insult. They're down 14-0 with ticks remaining in the first quarter. Roethlisberger trying to get things going, but Heath Miller can't corral that pass, and Roethlisberger came up limping a little bit. Next play, though, he didn't look any worse to wear as he's forced to tuck it and does what?
We've seen him do this all year. Get out of the pocket and make a play with your legs, man.
That led to a field goal by Sean Schweitzum. It's 14-3 as Pittsburgh Steelers in the second quarter getting the first down. Right there to Emmanuel Sanders. That led to the Sean Schweitzum field goal. But Sanders came down hard, and he would not return to the game. A tough blow for the kid from SMU here in North Texas. 14-3 with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. That is a caught pass by Donald Driver. This would be his last play of the game.
You can see his ankle twist up under the pile, and this guy is a competitor. So when you see him going out, you know something's wrong.
He got his ankle tangled underneath. 7th play of the next Steelers drive. Roethlisberger is picked off again as the ball was knocked around and eventually corralled by Jared Bush.
Aggressive defense.
And the Packers trying to turn that pick into points, and they do. What a throw from Rodgers to Greg Jennings.
He thread the needle right here to Greg Jennings in the seam. Linebacker doesn't make a play. Get it in there before the safeties can close.
What a catch by Jennings, too. We see the same play with younger receivers, and they did not make that play tonight.
21-3. The Steelers needing to score, however, right before the end of the half because the Packers are going to get the ball first after the black-eyed peas. So what does the Steelers do? They find Antoine Randall L. for 37 yards. Next play, Roethlisberger looking deep for Mike Wallace. Charles Woodson. He makes a great play on the ball and breaks his collarbone on the play. He would be done for the day.
He's your leader, emotional leader, your physical leader, and your team captain.
What a way to lay out, and that would be the end of Charles Woodson's Super Bowl 45 right there. 4 plays later, 6th play of the drive. Roethlisberger looks for his MVP wide receiver, and he finds Hines Ward inside the 10-yard line. Next play, Roethlisberger looking for his MVP wide receiver, and he finds him in the end zone. Touchdown. Big-time score by the Steelers.
That's the way to uncover in the end zone as a receiver, especially a veteran receiver like Hines Ward.
Third quarter, Charles Woodson comes out in his PJs. That is not the sign you want to see, but Rodgers puts the ball right on James Jones's hands, and he drops it.
That's what I was talking about. Same play right there. You cannot let these balls go. James Jones and I talk all the time. I know how much that bothers you.
That was 6. Instead of 6, they have to punt the ball away, and look what the Steelers did with it. That's Rashard Mendenhall on the first play in the ensuing possession. 17-yard run, 3 plays later. Isaac Redman around the edge on 3rd and 1. Takes it to the 10-yard line.
Collins took a bad angle, but great vision by Redmond.
Next play, Rashard Mendenhall between the tackles. Touchdown. It's 21-17. 14 unanswered Steeler points, and Old Mo is wearing black and gold. 3rd and 7. Next possession for Aaron Rodgers. The Packers. He is sacked for the first time of the game. James Harrison gets him. Mike Tomlin's fired up. He gets the ball back now with a chance to take the lead. Down 21-3 at one point. It's 21-17. Roethlisberger gets sacked on 3rd and 13. Huge play by Frank Zombo. Out comes Sean Schwisham, and he yanks it left from 52 yards. Charles Woodson can't even cheer without hurting. 21-17. Packers still lead. 3rd and 10. 2 possessions later. Rodgers looking for Brett Swain. Just when you thought it would be complete, it's another big-time drop by a receiver in Green Bay, yellow and gold. Mike Tomlin decides to challenge it. It's upheld as an incomplete pass, so the Steelers get the ball back. Still down by 4. First play of the 4th quarter. It's a fumble by Mendenhall. Clay Matthews hits him.
His shoulder right on the ball. Creates a fumble. Desmond Bishop picks that thing up. It was almost a scoop and score.
Playmakers make plays, not just going at the quarterback, not just intercepting the ball, but causing fumbles like this at key moments. That's what bloodline is.
Ryan Pickett also in on that play. The only player with Super Bowl winning experience who didn't have a broken collarbone at that point in time. So what do they do with this turnover? They got a big first down on 3rd down from James Jones. Then over the middle, another drop from Jordy Nelson. 3rd and long. Rodgers goes right back to Nelson, and he corrals it and moves the chains and makes a big play after the catch.
Great block by Driver. He was targeted 15 times and came up with 9 receptions on the day.
2 plays later from the 8, Rodgers to Greg Jennings. Touchdown, Green Bay.
Poised by Rodgers, looking left, coming back all the way across the field and finding Jennings for the touchdown.
28-17, 21 of the 28 points coming off of Steelers turnovers. Steelers get the ball back, needing points in a hurry. Mike Wallace, 14 yards on 2nd and 10 of the Packers 32. 2 plays later, Roethlisberger looks for his Super Bowl MVP receiver, and he finds him over the middle. Hines Ward, 15 yards to the Packers 25. Next play, Roethlisberger puts it up for Mike Wallace.
But what a bad angle by Sam Shields. We talked about this this morning. Sam Shields has the speed, but he played Mike Wallace to the inside instead of outside, and it was a touchdown.
Down by 5. What does the chart say, Steve?
It says go for 2.
They go for 2.
The option. Pitch it. Well done.
To Antoine Randall L. And suddenly it's just a 3-point field goal game. What do the Packers do now with 7.5 to go? Rodgers is sacked by Ziggy Hood.
Great pressure by the Pittsburgh defense.
2 plays later, 3rd and 10. Huge catch over the middle by Greg Jennings. 31 yards to move the chains. 3 plays later, it's 2nd and 9. James Jones makes the catch on a back shoulder fade to the Steelers.
Nice back shoulder throw.
William Gay was targeted all game.
3 plays later, Jordy Nelson. Oh, the Packers have to settle for a field goal with 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go. They get that settled field goal, but that means Ben Roethlisberger can come back on the field with 2:07 to go on a timeout and try and do to the Packers what he did to the Cardinals just 2 years ago. Heath Miller on the first play. First down over the middle, gain of 15, minute 2 to go with 3 plays later. Roethlisberger to Mike Wallace, 3rd and 5. Incomplete, so it's do or die time. 4th and 5, last chance saloon. Ben Roethlisberger throws incomplete to Wallace.
Nice
and that
play.
is it. The Green Bay Packers get the big-time defensive stop, and there will be no 7th trophy in Pittsburgh this year for number 7. There will be a return to Green Bay of the trophy named after their legendary coach, Aaron Rodgers. 3 years after taking over for Brett Favre, does what Brett Favre never did do, and that is win the Super Bowl MVP in hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for Green Bay. It is the 4th Super Bowl championship for the Green Bay Packers, the first wire-to-wire Super Bowl win since the Ravens did it 10 years ago in Super Bowl 35. Green Bay, a 6-point winner in Super Bowl 45.